If you're like me, the games on Neopets.com are some of the more iconic parts of the site, and the recent self-destruction of Flash on your modern browser is probably hitting you pretty hard. How else are you supposed to play Knockoff Snake, for example, or Knockoff Dig Dug, or Knockoff Zuma, or, okay, you get it. So the question, is there any way to see your favorite Flash game again? The answer, yes, and not really, and maybe. It's complicated. So the first thing, most of the games are still hosted on Neopets. Anything that was available in December 2020 is still sitting there as I record this in 2021. It's just a matter of accessing it. That part is actually easy because Neopets has provided us with a helpful link on the beta news page, but most of you will notice that if you visit those pages, it still doesn't work. That's because most versions of Flash have been updated with a kill switch that was designed to keep the player from loading after January 12th, 2021. And if you happen to have an ancient version of Flash that somehow doesn't have the kill switch, congrats, and be careful out there because that's a major security risk. If you had the version of Flash that imploded, though, don't panic. You may still be able to play Freaky Factory once again. I'm going to lay out a couple of ways to relive your childhood through Flash, from the most simple to the obscenely complicated. And it's going to be in the form of a list, but not like a numbered list, more like one of those lists where each entry has its own, designated specific section, this isn't the best movie of 2020. This is the best action movie starring a dad. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here we go. Most complicated. Let's start here. The first major way to access Flash games on Neopets is to get a time machine and travel back in time. The second most complicated way is to install a virtual machine on your computer that runs an older operating system. This older operating system can run older browsers, which can then run older versions of Flash. These older versions of Flash will not have been updated with the kill switch. Technically, getting this older version of Flash might be kind of difficult and legally gray, as Adobe locked down the sharing of their software, even legacy versions, which is just one of the reasons this is only marginally more complicated than literally hopping in your DeLorean and going back in time.
Great Scott.
It's a lot of effort just to play these old games on an ancient website, but I've run virtual machines for dumber reasons. Rocket's New School. So, no judgment from me. Most academic. Conifer is a web archival tool designed to help preserve the old net. Originally called Web Recorder, Conifer essentially emulates older browsers in order to preserve websites that you visit, giving you a digital collection of websites to browse and share, even after their destruction. I call it academic because its creator is a nonprofit organization that preserves digital art. They are in residence at the New Museum in New York City, and they are funded through different foundations and with art grants. So, because of all of this, Conifer isn't really made for playing games. That's not its purpose. Its purpose is to preserve art and websites. Its emulation tool is more for browsing than for twitchy fast reactions. However, it is a useful archival tool, and you can still use it for puzzles or other slow games. It's easy to use, and it's free for up to 5 gigs, so if you want, you can just store your favorites for safekeeping, or just use it to customize your Neopets using the older Flash customization tool. Probably the easiest solution to play your favorite game again is Flashpoint. If you're interested in Flash archival, you've probably heard of it before. Flashpoint is a project dedicated to the preservation of old Flash files. Its website says that it is host to over 70,000 games and 8,000 animations. It is a huge effort with many dedicated volunteers and contributors, and they've done a phenomenal job of saving huge chunks of the old web. And this includes Neopets. Flashpoint can be downloaded in 2 forms: the full edition, which downloads all archived Flash files to your computer for offline play, or the online edition, which is the more lightweight and allows you to download the games you're interested in on the fly. It's also totally safe without the security issues that plagued Flash. So the question you're probably asking is, can you play your favorite Neopets game on this thing? Yeah, almost certainly. I mean, I haven't checked them all. This thing has hundreds of Neopets games. I'm not even sure some of these are on the site anymore, as they were part of old advertising campaigns. Just look at this old Harry Potter game. So obviously, the big downside is you can't submit your scores, get avatars, or earn Neopets on this thing. They're being played locally on your computer and are not hooked up to the Neopets servers. Still, if you found yourself kind of depressed that you may have missed your last chance to play Fairy Bubbles, then this might be a solution for you. For me, having these games on my computer is a huge load off for me personally, just knowing that they're not gone forever. most potential. The final option isn't ready yet, but it's the one that I'm most excited about, and I'm personally keeping my eyes on it. Like Conifer and the virtual machine, Ruffle is based in emulation. However, unlike those two, Ruffle emulates right in your browser. Ruffle makes two huge promises. One, that owners of sites with existing Flash content can install Ruffle to their site and the files will just work. This is huge, but it seems more than possible. As I write this, websites like Newgrounds and Homestar Runner are running Ruffle to great success, allowing players to view Flash content without having to do anything at all. I can even access Homestar right on my tablet. It's incredible. The second is a promise of a browser extension that will work much the same way that the websites do. The extension will just make Flash files operable on modern browsers without anyone having to do anything, without Flash or any of the security issues that it posed. So theoretically, you just install the browser extension, go to the website, and there it is, as if you're using Flash. So, what the heck, you might be asking? If it can do all this, then why didn't you just make the video about Ruffle and be done with it? The answer is it's just not quite there yet. It's still in very active development. Updates are being made almost daily according to the website, and there are still a lot of bugs to work out. Development is also focusing mostly on early Flash versions right now, ActionScript 1 and 2. The bulk of Flash games and animations were made in AS1 and 2. However, at least some of the SWF files on Neopets use AS3, which are not supported by Ruffle at this time. Like, full disclosure though, I did try it though, because I think some of the games are pre-AS3, specifically any games that were made before 2006, which is when like AS3 became the standard. However, I couldn't get anything to load outside of this gray screen, which I think is caused by the loading screen that appears before all the Flash games on Neopets, but like, I'm not an expert, so if anyone knows more than me about this, y'all could look into it. But I am so optimistic about this, y'all. I wouldn't bring this up if I didn't think it was a viable solution in the long term for preserving Flash in general, as well as on Neopets specifically. Like, the thing is that we only have these 7 games in HTML5, and the rest of this giant back catalog of games are just completely inaccessible to us. But if Ruffle starts playing nice with Neopets, this could easily be the best way to play old Neopets games while we wait for the games to get converted. And the fact is, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to convert every single one of their giant back catalog of games. So having these options available to us is really important. And I think it's very likely that it's going to start working as they keep chugging along with development. If you want to help with that, Ruffle says on their site that they need testers to check out games and report bugs. So you can look at their website, which has more information. I'm going to link that in the description below. Honorable mention. So before I wrap this up, I want to mention the YouTube channel Neo Archive, which has a whole bunch of old files uploaded to their YouTube page for anyone to enjoy. It's a total nostalgia bomb of screensavers, demos, advent animations, music. They have the old Sacrificers animations and NeoQuest cutscenes. Y'all, go check this channel out. It doesn't have nearly the number of subscribers it deserves, and the preservation that is happening here is incredible. I hope some of you found this info helpful. The old animations and games and other Flash files on Neopets are, frankly, it's a gigantic undertaking, and there's no way that all of them are going to get converted. Finding solutions to preserving these old memories is really important to me. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for more options like this, and I will keep you updated if there's any big changes with Ruffle or other emulation methods. In the meantime, like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more nostalgic silliness. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.